Imagine the Earth as a living sculpture. Every valley, every curve of a river, every dune of sand, slowly carved by nature itself. This is the story of denudation in action. The word denudation comes from a Latin word meaning to strip off. In geography, denudation refers to the overall process by which the Earth's surface is worn down and lowered over time. However, it is not a single action. Instead, denudation includes weathering, breaking of rocks; erosion, removal of rock material; transportation, movement of materials; deposition, laying down of materials. Working together, these processes continuously reshape the Earth's surface. The main agents of denudation are running water, rivers, wind, glaciers, sea waves. In this video, we will focus on rivers and wind, the two most powerful forces shaping the land. Work of the river. Rivers are among the most powerful agents of denudation, shaping landscapes through erosion, transportation, and deposition, with their erosional work, like corrosion and hydraulic action, being particularly effective, especially in steep upper courses, carving out features like V-shaped valleys, while lateral erosion and deposition create floodplains and deltas as the river slows down. Stages of a river course. A river's journey is divided into 3 stages: upper course, youth stage; steep slope, fast-flowing water; vertical erosion dominates, V-shaped valley. In the upper course, rivers cut deep into the land, creating narrow, steep-sided valleys shaped like the letter V. These valleys are common in mountainous regions. Waterfall. When a river flows over hard and soft rock layers, the softer rock erodes faster, forming a waterfall. Over time, the waterfall retreats backward, deepening the valley. Middle course, mature stage. The middle course refers to the section of a river that lies between the upper reaches, where the flow is fast and steep, and the lower reaches, where the flow slows down as it approaches the mouth. This area is characterized by a relatively gentle gradient, wider channels, and often a meandering pattern as the river flows through different terrains, shaping the landscape and impacting ecosystems. Meanders. In the middle course, rivers develop wide bends called meanders. The river erodes the outer bank and deposits material on the inner bank, giving the river its winding shape. Lower course, old stage. The lower course of a river refers to the final section of the river before it enters its mouth, usually flowing into a sea, lake, or ocean. Characteristics of the lower course. The river flows at its slowest speed. The river channel is widest and deepest. The river carries a large volume of water. The valley is very broad and flat. The river tends to deposit fine sediments, alluvium, because it has lost much of its energy. Features like floodplains, levees, and deltas are common in this zone. The lower course is where the river has little energy left for erosion and mainly deposits the materials it carried from the upper and middle courses. Delta. When a river enters the sea, its speed reduces and it deposits sediments, forming a delta. Deltas are fertile, triangular-shaped landforms, ideal for agriculture, such as the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta. Work of wind. Wind is a powerful agent of denudation in arid and semi-arid regions, especially deserts. Wind's work involves aeolian processes, eroding, transporting, and depositing sediment, especially in arid areas with little vegetation, shaping landscapes into features like dunes, mushroom rocks, and lowest plains through deflation, abrasion, and attrition, significantly modifying Earth's surface in deserts and coasts. Erosion by wind. Wind erosion is the initial stage of the wind-driven geomorphic process. It involves the loosening, lifting, and removal of soil and rock particles by the force of moving air. This type of erosion is most common in arid and semi-arid regions, where the soil is loose, dry, and vegetation is scarce. Such conditions allow the wind to act freely on the land surface. The intensity and impact of wind erosion depend on several important factors. Wind speed. The speed of the wind is the main factor controlling wind erosion. Strong winds have greater energy and can lift, transport, and move larger and heavier particles over longer distances compared to gentle winds. Surface conditions. Land surfaces made up of fine, dry, and unconsolidated sediments are highly vulnerable to wind erosion. Desert areas, with their loose sand and dust, are especially prone, leading to the formation of wind-shaped features. Vegetation cover. Vegetation plays a crucial role in reducing wind erosion. Plant roots bind the soil together, while leaves and stems slow down wind speed near the ground. When vegetation is sparse or completely absent, erosion becomes more severe. Landforms created by wind erosion. Wind erosion produces several distinctive landforms. Ventifacts. Ventifacts are rocks or boulders that have been polished, grooved, or shaped by sand particles carried by strong winds. Continuous abrasion often gives them smooth and sharply edged surfaces. Yardangs. Yardangs are long, narrow ridges carved out by persistent wind abrasion. They are streamlined in shape and usually aligned in the direction of prevailing winds, showing the long-term action of wind erosion. Deflation hollows. Deflation hollows form when wind blows away fine soil particles, creating shallow or deep depressions in the ground. Over time, these hollows can expand and may develop into larger basins, sometimes forming desert playas. Transportation by wind. After erosion, the loosened particles are picked up by the wind and carried from one place to another. The distance over which these particles are transported depends on their size, weight, and the speed and direction of the wind. Wind transports different particles in different ways. Suspension. Very fine particles, such as dust and silt, are lifted high into the air by strong winds. These particles can remain suspended for long periods and may be carried over very long distances, sometimes leading to dust storms. Saltation. Medium-sized particles like sand grains are too heavy to stay in the air continuously. Instead, they bounce or hop along the ground, a movement known as saltation. As these grains accumulate, they contribute to the formation of dunes. Creep. The largest and heaviest particles, such as pebbles and small stones, cannot be lifted by the wind. They move slowly along the surface by rolling or sliding, a process called creep. Over time, this movement can smooth and polish rock surfaces. Deposition by wind deposition is the final stage of the wind-driven process. It takes place when the wind loses speed or energy, or when it is blocked by an obstacle. As a result, the wind drops the particles it was carrying, leading to the formation of various depositional features. Loess deposits. When fine particles like dust and silt settle after being transported by wind, they form deposits called loess. Loess soil is highly fertile and is widely used for agriculture. Sandbars and sand sheets. In areas where wind velocity decreases, sand gets deposited in large quantities, forming sandbars and sand sheets. These features are common in deserts, coastal regions, and other windy areas. Loess plateaus. Over long periods, thick layers of loess can accumulate to form loess plateaus. These plateaus are characterized by deep, fertile soils. The Loess Plateau of China is a well-known example of this type of landform. Rivers and wind may seem gentle, but over thousands and millions of years they transform mountains into plains and deserts into shifting landscapes. Denudation is not destruction. It is nature's way of creating balance, beauty, and diversity on Earth.